场啊，我们今天这个分2场，第一场我们将邀请那个日本福冈亚洲美术馆啊这个学艺科科长黑田雷儿先生来为我们做一篇论文发表。那这个论文的题目目前因为有主标题跟副标题啊，那英文跟中文在这边我们还没有得到这个统一的翻译。那我就暂时用这个主标题，叫做木刻创作媒介啊这个概念。好，那我们现在就欢迎黑田先生来为我们这个演说。
Thank you for your patience. I'd like to thank the organizer, Spring Foundation and Taipei Fine Arts Museum who invited me again to Taiwan. But I also like to thank the audience. Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining with so many people, especially young people who look in your 20s or 30s, because even when we organize this kind of academic symposium in Fukuoka, the most of the audience are in their 40s, 50s, 60s. So I find that Japanese society is now dying. This presentation focuses on historical roles of woodcut or woodblock prints for political and social movement in Asian cities. But my point is the potential of woodcut as social media, which reproduces images for free and open dissemination instead of exhibitions at museums and galleries. For this argument, we have to start from confirming the difference of woodcut from other techniques of image reproduction, such as etching, lithography, silkscreen, photography, and digital images. The woodcut, which enables printing both of text and images together, was widely employed in Europe, China, and other parts of Asia. But it may be only after the age of modernism that the art historians noticed the importance of woodcut works. In Japan, creative printmaking movement at the beginning of the 20th century is recognized as the birth of modern printmaking by artists who drew, curved, and printed all by themselves, in contrast to traditional prints like ukiyo-e woodcut, in which different artists worked in each different process. However, the primary advantage of woodcut was lost in this process of modernization, which is the easy availability of materials and possibility of open reproduction were replaced by the rarity as artwork, which is guaranteed by signature and edition number. Only in 1950s, printing making movement by artists who succeeded pre-war proletariat art and woodcut workshop in numerous workers' circles endeavored to recover the democratic essence of the woodcut media. Woodcut as such was a media for amateurs, such as laborers, housewives, and even children, due to simple technique and cheap materials, which empowered them as independent subjects. In short, the woodcut is essentially a medium and media of people without properties to convey their voices in a society. This understanding of woodcut discloses the first technical nature of woodcut. It is difficult to create elaborate gradation in single plate or single color woodcut, which is easy in etching, lithograph, and photographs. Woodcut images consist of only black and white, as in the two-tone setting of a digital scanner. However, these two-tone images are easily reproduced For example, in photocopying, even without advanced technology of printmaking or printing. The second nature of woodcut is physicality, which is lacking in other print technique and photography. A woodcut print is a trace or metonymy of physical power of muscle on hard wooden materials, repeatedly curved with sharp knives. The materiality and physicality in woodcut can work as means for creative subject to resist to materials, resist to environment, then to resist to societies in political and social struggle in 20th century. The role of woodcut in political and social movement is manifested in Chinese intellectual that woodcut and cartoons are sister art. New woodcut movement in China, initiated in late 20s, promoted by Liu Xiong in 1930s, and developed into maturity in wartime 1940s, spread to Malaya before independence of Malaysia and Singapore by Tai In-long, among others. He worked as an editor of a supplement page in Nanyang Shanpao, Nanyang Commerce News, this one, which is Chinese newspaper in Singapore. Tai In-long worked as editor of this supplement page from January to August in 1937. In this supplement page, titled Wen Manje, he introduced works and technique of new woodcut movement in China. This features, you can see the works by Kate Kolovitz, which was a big source of big inspiration for a new woodcut movement. What is particularly intriguing is the coexistence of woodcut and cartoon in a page like this one. Especially in this page, illustrations in advertisement made the page more hybrid and very energetic. The sharp contrast of woodcut by Tai In-long himself on your left, and which is in the style of mainland China's new style woodcut, looks too different from linear drawing of cartoons on your right. But what is common to two techniques is, first, the clear reproduction of black and white images in small and bad printing of newspaper. Second, is social commentary. Thus, woodcut and cartoon were under an umbrella of popular art, or more precisely, I would say, democratic art. A preface in this book, it's not a book, it's just a small sort of pamphlet or brochure. A preface in this selection of woodcut cartoon in Singapore and Malaya, published in Singapore in 1955, clearly writes that woodcut and cartoon are sister art, which share the same role, which is political struggle. Following such editorial concept, woodcuts and cartoons are ordered alternately. This contents consists of two groups. One, the page on your left is for woodcut. The page on your right is for cartoons. So in the page you will find woodcut and cartoon appear one after another. So a serious woodcut with anti-imperialism subject on the left is followed by a comical cartoon of anti-pornography on your right. Meanwhile, despite widespread influence of Chinese new woodcut movement in Asian cities, the woodcut remained marginal in art historical discourses. This could be due to the absence of artistic tradition of woodcut in some cultures, or views of woodcut as mere reproductive technique inferior to fine art, or merely folk art, a kind of folk art. Such a pejorative view on woodcut survives today in some cultures. However, this doesn't mean the circulation of woodcut imagery was confined within East Asian communities. For example, the prints by Kate Korovitz, which fascinated many Asian artists, were widely known to Asian cultural people through publications. I would introduce here examples of unexpectedly international dissemination of woodcut image. Pakistan, in early 1970s, experienced turbulent era with Bangladesh Liberation War in East Pakistan, which ignited the Third Indo-Pakistan War and the collapse of Yahya Khan's military dictatorship, followed by the temporal democratization. In this period, Mian Ijazul Hassan Pakistani painter Mian Ijazul Hassan, who had been creating paintings in modernist style like this. Sorry. But after this kind of very modernist style, he attempted a new style as a reflection of such era. In his painting of early 1970s, he dealt with wars in Bangladesh, this children from the Bangladesh, and Vietnam War. In this painting, he juxtaposed popular imagery such as film posters and photographs of war victims. In this vein, Hassan painted this work, Ta, in 1974-5, now in the collection of Fukuoka Asian Art Museum. The artist's intention in this juxtaposition of two images is obvious. Here is a contrast of two opposite genders. A woman as commodified object, and another woman as another woman as an independent subject. Yet, what is more important in my argument is the source of the images, especially that of this Vietnamese soldier. The image in right is a glamorous film actress, Philidos, in ethnic costume, taken from a poster of 1970 film, Saludara. Another image in left is a young woman with a gun, book, and baby, who stares at Philidos, that Pakistani actress. This image of Vietnamese woman is taken from a woodcut by Lin Chung, a Chinese artist, on the earth saturated with blood in 1965. This work is included in woodcut. This work is included in his Lin Chung. This work is included in woodcut picture series of Letters from the South, portfolio of reproduced woodcuts by member artists of Suzhou Division of China Artists Association in the same year. The portfolio of 13 woodcuts was published to proclaim China's government's support to North Vietnam, which was fighting against American forces. These are two works in that portfolio. Please remember that image in the right, which appears later again. This is an image of the Lin Chung. This is a reproduction printed and distributed in that portfolio. Letters from the South was also published as a set of 10 prints. I haven't seen this one. These are sort of postcards. And picture storybook, presumably based on a spoken drama. This is inside of a picture storybook. This is a spoken drama with the same title, Letters from the South. But I haven't read a story of this Letters from the South. I have already ordered, but the book hasn't yet come. So I don't know. I can't explain what's the content of the drama and the story. But please that all of these images in woodcut and portfolio and storybook may be this spoken drama, kind of a modernized drama. Modernized theater in China. All of these papyrus of letters from the South worked as a propaganda of Chinese government in support of anti-imperialism war by North Vietnamese troops. Hassan writes he found the image of the Vietnamese mother soldier in a Chinese literature, this English journal, in Lahore, a city in Pakistan. This July 1965 issue of this journal includes two works which are included in the portfolio. You should remember that one, in the right. Also, I couldn't find this Lin Chung's particular work in this journal. Some issues are missing. We can assume that uncut images in letters from the South are used by Chinese government for international campaign of Chinese contemporary culture as well as political message in English media. This tour by Hassan was first exhibited in a founding exhibition of Pakistan Artist Equity, PAE, at Lahore Art Gallery in early 1975. This Pakistan Artist Equity is a collective of writers, artists, film and theater people in Pakistan, with Hassan as Secretary General. Pakistan Artist Equity practiced pedagogical projects for common people beyond their arts and elite circles by presenting painting, posters, postcards, magazine illustration, and theatrical performance at festivals in local cities in Pakistan, just like a cultural program in wartime China. This photograph of Hassan and other PAE members in welcoming Chinese delegates with Mao's portraits may represent the group's pro-China policy before the group was disbanded by martial law in 1977. This image of Mother Soldier by Lin Chung is quoted in many European publications, not only in Hassan's painting. An example particularly noteworthy is this Ghidorah, a newspaper published by Japanese American activist group in Los Angeles. The name of Ghidorah came from this one, King Ghidorah, King Ghidorah. King Ghidorah is a rival of Godzilla. He is a Mothra, and I love these monster creatures in my childhood. Anyway. But I asked why they took this name as Ghidorah, but they have known that Ghidorah is a King Ghidorah, but they didn't have any special intention. Just they chose a name, but something very fresh, unknown, very new to them. This image, that image of Lin Chung appeared in cover of March 1970 issue, but without his name. Only this text at bottom right explains the image of fighting woman with a baby in her hands. An essay in the same issue titled Vietnamese Sisters, quoted from another publication, Sisters United, January 70. I don't know what this is. This text is also loosely related to the image in cover, because the essay argued a quest of women's liberation from oppression in the traditional Vietnamese society and violence by Japanese and American invaders, advocating women's roles as soldiers and importance of education for next generation. In my email interview to the editor, Mike Murase, he doesn't remember the source of the image, which we already know it's taken from Lin Chung. But Mr. Murase mentioned that editorial team was impressed by the image of a Southeast Asian woman who confronted superpower of American imperialism, thus chose to use the image on cover to commemorate International Women's Day, 8th of March. Anti-imperialism struggle and women's freedom movement, appropriately illustrated by Lin Chung, led to another interesting example, a newspaper published by the Black Panther Party, combatant activist group of African Americans. The Black Panther Party had good reason to use the image, considering their anti-Vietnam War campaign and support worldwide anti-imperialism struggle, as well as anti-racism. But more complicated and intriguing fact is that the page in 20 September 1969 issue was provided by Black Panther Party to another media, Basta Air, edited by Rosita Dolores. It means the seven of the people, which is Latin American activist in San Francisco. I cannot fully understand this long essay, the next slide is taken from this column about this image. But this text is has so many slangs, so I can't read. So, but this text is about Latin Americans' refusal of military service only to serve the riches. Thus, the essay does not directly explain the image. Besides the slightly slant layout of the image. Yeah, this is original. This is in the past year. Slightly slant. This layout may be supposed to only to fill a blank space in the page. Yet, the image by a Chinese artist was certainly at the hands of Latin Americans in San Francisco for their quick reference. Even today, you can find unauthorized quotation of the Lin Chung's image without artist name or sources in websites. Image searching on Google can easily reach many websites with Lin Jun's images from unknown sources, as well as from contemporaneous publications around 1970, such as this underground magazine, Pipes, and Sociologist Journal. You can, this is, please let me know if you know about this magazine. Is this from Hong Kong? Do you know? Do anybody know about this? Please let me know later. Okay. But anyway, this is a Chinese magazine. And this one is I found in the website of Swedish National Library of Sweden. And this is in red color from the website Freedom Archives and Blackbird's Press News. I don't know what's it. And this is from the website Female Guerrillas. This is from Queer Spiritism and Queer Marxism-Leninism. And the last one, I can't read. But anyway, this website would be, all of these websites may be with speed of resistance, freedom fight, and revolution. Pipes. Again, this is Guido quoted in Proletarian Feminism. From this amazingly widespread and transcultural quotation of Lin Jun's woodcut image, we can understand immense possibility of dissemination of an image in global societies. We should also remember that image circulation as such is not for any commercial appeal or advertisement, but primarily for intercommunal solidarity beyond geographical, cultural, and even historical distance, for those with common aims, common agendas, and common dreams for freedom and equality. In this chart at the top, green lines indicate the flow of Lin Jun's image from China to Pakistan to Asian American to Hispanic American, and the red line indicates, all of red line indicates concern or support liberation war of Vietnam, illustrated by the images. The chart at the bottom is a set of interrelated concepts meant by the Lin Jun's images. If Lin Jun, the artist, could know such a diverse and still continuing quotation of the images before he passed away 2 years ago, I am sure he would not get angry with a violation of copyright, but instead he would be very pleased in his artistic contribution to this worldwide activism. I will close this presentation with introduction of two typical examples of woodcut images as media for social and political struggle. The first example is a series of woodcut by Hon Sondam, whose art will be argued by INABA Mai-san next in next presentation. So I'll skip the explanation of the background. Anyway, this series of woodcut or lino cut made to record what happened in Gwangju in May 1980. Another example is Huang Rongzhang's terror inspection, which documented the incident on 28 February 1947. Its only extant print, original print, is in the collection of Museum of Modern Art, Kamakura and Hayama. Actually, it is very small in size, and the print has neither signature, title, nor edition number. But the image is known through its reproduction in newspaper in Shanghai, but with a credit of another name, Li Jun, very confusing, not Lin Jun, but Li Jun, sorry. But Mr. Mei Dingyi, the moderator of this session, has already researched earlier than other researchers in the world, so he can explain more about this one. But his text, he wrote like this. Sorry for my very, very bad translation, because I'm not too good at either in Chinese or English. So the work has already become only artistic witness the February 28th instead, but its significance far exceeds the category of art history as a conveyor of the tragic history of Taiwan. But my response to his words is this conveyor of tragic history should be integrated into art history. In such a view about art history, we need to overturn the common understanding that original print is superior to reproduction in publication. Only with such overturn, we can re-examine the dichotomy of artwork and archival material and the superiority of the former to the latter. This is a supplement. These are woodcuts made in Japan in 1950s. Who is the artist? These 3 woodcuts were by this legendary performance artist in 1960s, Itoi Kanji, or another name is Dadakan. Thank you for listening.
刚刚整个下午来听这个论文啊，我自己抱的一个态度啊，就是因为我们大会有个主题啊，它的主题就是叫做档案转向。好，那当然这个主题是东南亚当代艺术与台湾啊，但是在这个内容里面，我看到一大部分是属于东南亚啊那个状态。 那所以光这样来讲的话，我自己在解读上，我一下子还是不太清楚，啊。不过我在借这个机会，这个提醒大家一下哈，就是有3个重点。第一个就是我们可能要重新思考档案的定义是什么啊？我们今天讲的档案，今天讨论的档案，我们还没有真的去定义它的状态，也就是说它的价值。 哦，它的价值如何来决定？它的意义跟价值是怎么被决定？第二个就是转向啊，因为转向这个词是含有方向嘛，所以它一定要有一个目标。它啊，那有了目标，有了方向，当然就要讲方法。好，这些我一直说，我一直在读这些论文里面，我要看到的是这些东西。好，那但是方法转向到最后，当然会进入到所谓的史观。 那问题就来了，就问题来了，这个问题是更新史观的概念。好，那么就是我们要把过去的那个我们认为不够客观的那个史观要做补足。但是现在刚刚讲问题来了，就是说在我们在运用这个新的方法来做新的史观的那个方法学的背后，我们是不是继续要参照旧的？ 史学的方法那个范本来做啊，我丢这些问题就是说，我们可能整个都要讨论今天这个档案转向的意义，那个讨论的核心，不管是用版画，不管是用什么复合媒体，那最后当然等一下这2场这个讨论，我们会涉及到一个非常敏感的这个背景，我想大家刚刚已经听出来了，就是关于这个后殖民或者反帝的那样的一个历史经验。 也就是有点所谓的反全球化、反资本主义，好，那甚至到最后，下一场我相信那个洪正南的这样子的版画艺术家，他自己宣称说他不是在做艺术，他是在做政治。好，如果艺术跟政治可以翻转，而要重新回到美术史来改写它的所谓的价值的话， 那么我们也要讨论艺术跟政治之间的真正的分野是怎么来看待的。好，那接着，我们接着就请这个稻叶真义教授来为我们发表下一篇论文。谢谢。
Hello, my name is INABA. I'm from Seoul. So thank you very much for inviting and giving such a good opportunity to present here. I'd like to thank to Taipei Fine Arts Museum and the Spring Foundation, and especially Jianpo Xin Lao Si. So today, I would like to talk about Korean Minjung art movement while overviewing the activities of Hong Son-dam as an art activist. The Korean Minjung art movement had flourished for more than 15 years from the 1980s to middle 1990s, with creating a unique expression style and establishing an important era in Korean contemporary art history. Hong Son-dam was one of the most prominent and important artists who was leading the Minjung art movement. As Minjung art movement developed with the rise of democratic movement, it concerned not only the art field, where authoritative artistic system and question the worship of Western modernists spread, but also resistance against foreign forces, traditional culture inheritance, restoring the divided country, overthrow the dictatorship, and the fulfillment of democracy, which represented whole contradiction of Korean society. Gwangju uprising triggered the explosive spread of Minjung art movement nationwide and became became a tipping point enough largely turned Korean society. People who became conscious of the distortion of Korean contemporary history after the liberation through Gwangju uprising have sought to gain historical identity by living Korean modern history, which was broadly recognized as a history of failure. Through those seeking, people appeared those who played a leading role in the history, leading to full-scale deployment of struggle of democracy and Minjung project. It was also Gwangju uprising to make Hong Son-dam devote himself into Minjung art movement. He organized the cultural propaganda teams in the Malaysia and fought against the martial law forces. The experience of working as the propaganda team in the field of Gwangju uprising has determined the way of Hong Son-dam's work. In September 1979, Hong Son-dam organized Gwangju Free Artist Association. We call that Gwangjahyop, with comrade in. They worked, the Gwangjahyop worked on the cultural movement with actively adopting popular culture, and they planned the first exhibition in May 1980. However, it became scattered by the Gwangju incident, which broke out suddenly. On 18 May, the martial law forces entered into Gwangju city and attacked citizens who resisted. Hong Son-dam organized the propaganda team for the purpose of informing the citizens confronting the martial law forces of the actual situation in Gwangju. Bulletin of warriors mimeographed by the propaganda team invited students to unify actions and convinced at the existence of underground resistance group. It was raised the fighting spirits of students, provided important information of the students who have no skill to grasp the situation, and was served as the guide for their action. After the withdrawal of martial law forces, the propaganda team still played a key role in civil rally conference, which began to be held in front of the Jeonnam provincial office. The propaganda team organized the civil rally conference and empowered the students through a variety of contents, include not only the agitator's speech, but also poem reading and singing and situation play. Dawn of 29 May, 12,000 military force launched total attack against the Jeonnam provincial office, and Gwangju was under control. The massacre in Gwangju was not reported in Korea at all by the control of speech. And the Korean people could not know what had happened in Gwangju. Only the government reports that it was caused by the riot of the Communist Party were infiltrated. After the Gwangju uprising, the artists fell into the period of stagnation. Artists could not be achieved through existing methods with their artists had realized that the democratization could not be achieved through existing methods. With their deep self-reflection, artists sought to find out a new direction for Gwangju uprising and for the realization of democratization. In such a situation, the most advanced activity was performed by art activists, and Honsundam was at the forefront. In July 1980, Gwangju resumed its activities by holding the October exhibition for May Relief Festival. As a practical activity, they set the theme of social reduction of art, and decided to engage in popular education activities, such as farmer education programs and art programs for laborers. And in 1982, as a part of media development and spread to woodcut movement nationwide, Gwangju published Honsundam's woodcut calendar, 12 Madan, it means 12 scenes, and started disseminate them. Therefore, various, the right side is in the Junino Madan, published in Japan. The next year, 12 Madan was published in Japanese by the Relief Association for the Detained of South Korea Liberation Front of Osaka. Next year. Therefore, thereafter, various woodcut calendars were published one after another, it was recognized that woodcut movement had a good potential impact on people and could have the concrete science for the development of the woodcut movement. Another important activities of Kwanja Hyop was the establishment of the community art school. On 8 August in 1983, Gwangju Community Art School was established. Gwangju Community Art School emphasized that students should more focus on having consciousness of their surrounding situation rather than acquiring woodcut skill. Students divided into smaller groups, motivated to conduct discussions, round-table discussions, and field work at the workplace, and to discover the subject and express them in the form of woodcut. These are students' woodcut. This is the students' woodcut, and we can see the influence of the Honson Dam. After the finish the course, an exhibition was held. While the result of woodcut education that tried to match the production and the demand of art by the people as a subject led to the nationwide expansion of the country at a community art school. The possibility of woodcut as a new art movement subjectively and sustained by people was confirmed. The woodcut movement was also expanded not only by the people, but also by Minjung artists. This is the famous artist, the Oyun, and the Ichol-su, Hon Sonung, and Kim Bon-jung. Their works were also used as insert of poetry and composition collection and spread through printed materials. Honson Dam also actively worked on woodcut in the 1980s. The most famous, this is Honson Dam's woodcut. The most famous Honson Dam's woodcut was May print on the theme of the Gwangju Uprising, which became known through the Journal of Gwangju Popular Culture Institute. At that time, after the Gwangju Uprising, as there were no pictures to tell the tendency of Gwangju, and the Gwangju Popular Culture Institute put Honson Dam's woodcut on the journal to tell the truth of Gwangju Uprising. Several pieces of many prints were put into each issue, contributed revealing Gwangju Uprising, and woodcut went from people's hand to hands. Among May prints, especially the Union World, which the Gwangju Commune, which depicted the Gwangju Commune produced after the martial law forces withdrew, was particularly popular. The Union World represents the appearance of people shouting cheers and sharing meal in the completely liberated space in Gwangju. What Honson Dam wanted to express through this work was that the Gwangju students did not need to forget the Shinmyeon. Shinmyeon means interpressible joy and ecstasy, without losing optimism nor the power of the people, while sharing pains, the shedding blood. In March in 1989, Jeonnam Social Research Institute selected 50 items from about 70 items of May prints and published woodcut collection. Thus, May prints series Down was born. Down was published as a self-edition limited to 50 volumes. May prints become a symbol of Gwangju uprising and Honsondam known as May artist. Gwangju disintegrated in 1984, and in 1985 it was reorganized as Gwangju Visual Media Study Group we call Shimeyeon. In these days in Seoul, artists were keenly aware of the necessity of artist organization to resist state power. As Korean art, the 12 power exhibition by young artists was replaced by the police. Thus, on 12 November in 1985, about 120 artists formed the National Art Association we call Minmihop. Minmihop expressed willingness to spread the empathy legion of creation and the demand of folk art at the turning point of history, as well as directed to contribute the enhancing practical method of the ethnic art, protecting the interest of and improving welfare of members. Honsondam worked as the first steering committee chairperson of the Minmihop, but the base of his activities was placed on Shimeyeon. The purpose of Shimeyeon was to be engaged in activities that penetrated people's lives and in art movement as a medium of advertisement and propaganda. Shimeyeon made a variety of visual media such as woodcut, painting, wall newspaper, cartoon, and so on, and distributed them in various struggling fields. They also developed the Colgate cream, the big cream, big banner, which was quoted from traditional painting, Buddhist painting used in popular rallies. Colgate was Colgate was painted by groups and came to be raised up at universities and various revolutionary fields. Huge Colgate gave people powerful visual impact. After the uprising in June in 1987, it grew dramatically by combining with the advance to the people's demonstration activities, and the Colgate became an indispensable medium for the struggle and assembly. Among the Colgate painted by members of Shimeyeon, the earliest work is Battle of People, and Jack Sullivan and Downing from beneath of mountain foot of Baekdu are known as representative ones. Especially Jack Sullivan is said to have decided the principal style of Colgate. Jack Sullivan adopted the style of Kamno Tenfa, this one. Yeah. Gamnotenpa, which was the Buddhist image of the Joseon dynasty. In July 1988, representative of student group for art movement and small group that had developed at the movement at the struggle field came together and decided to collaborate on the succession art project of the Gwangju Uprising based on the proposal of Shimeon. They aimed at solidarity and mutual exchange by Minjung art movement groups in each region and decided to organize the Nation and People Art Movement National Alliance we call Minmilyeon. Background to the launch of Minmilyeon was the conflict within Minmilyeon as a result of the conflict between groups which tried to follow artistic and cultural path and ones which aimed for a political fighting line, and finally withdrew from Minmilyeon. They organized the fighting line group withdrew from Minmilyeon. They organized Minmilyeon and focused on the supporting struggle and solidarity activities, art education at work sites and national unity movement. On December 17, 1988, Minmilyeon decided to create the huge Kolge, a history of the people's liberation movement. During this period, the Korean society was greatly fluctuating as the June uprising and the Great Worker Uprising at the July and August in 1987. The year-end presidential election and the general election in April 1988. Amidst such social conditions, the scale of assembly by people expanded, and the Kolge painted by the demands of the struggle fields became indispensable to the demonstration. History of the People's Liberation Movement adopted the epic composition seen in general painting and folk painting of the late Joseon dynasty. Minmilyeon divided the 11 themes of the history of the people's struggle after the Donghak Peasant War, and 11 groups composed of around 200 painters had their own responsibilities. This Kolge was 2.4 meters in length and 7 meters in wide, and when 11 pieces were combined, the masterpiece spanned 77 meters in length. On 4 April in 1989, the opening ceremony of the exhibition was held on the open space of Seoul National University. Honsondam declared to send the slides of the work and the World Youth Student Festival to be held in Pyongyang. Honsondam sent slides of these Kolge and sent a message to celebration participants. He asked North Korean artists to complement and complete the modern history of North Korea, which is missing in the history of the People's Liberation movement. The slides sent to North Korea through the United States were reproduced to half the size Kolge by North Korean artists and displayed at the International Art Exhibition at the World Youth Student Festival. Kolge visited 4 cities in North Korea. by the art exchange between the North and the South was fulfilled for the first time since being divided. A nationwide traveling exhibition was held also in Korea. And it was exhibited at Hanyang University on 29 June. However, on 29th, more than 8,000 police rushed into the exhibition place and destroyed Colgate and set fire. Police conducted away the crowd who was in the exhibition place. Indiscriminately and detained 7 persons, including Hon Son-dam. Hon Son-dam was released from prison in July 1992. In the 1980s in Korea, the resistance of people became furious in the proportion of oppression. Democratization became the spirit of era. On the other hand, the criticism of reality featuring and anti-dictatorship and anti-Americanism, anti-imperialism, and national unification, and sarcasm and realism offering counter-proposals seem to have overwhelming, convincing power in the art, Minjung art. Minjung art had lost its philosophical plot due to the demolition of the socialist state following the collapse of the Berlin Wall, and was rapidly losing the momentum in the 1990s. However, Hon Son-dam has actively presented artworks to accuse universal problems lying across East Asia with wider range of problem awareness since 2000s. In particular, it was reconfirmed that May Prince exhibition held in Kurinje Avant-Garde Theater in Taipei in 2030. May Print has current significance in East Asia. In the symposium, Reconsideration on Democracy Post-Democratization in East Asia was proposed, and consecutively it was pointed out the invisible suppression, just martial law in the spirit, continued caused by the national security law of Korea, the martial law of Taiwan, and the imperial system of Japan are internalized. In 2014, Hon Son-dam's work, Seoul All, was refused to exhibit at the Gwangju Biennale Special Exhibition. The content of Seoul All was to connect the tragedy of the Seoul ferry and the massacre of Gwangju, and sharply accused national violence. The blatant repression of Park Geun-hye administration against this work showed again the resistance by artists could be still a great threat to the national power. I'm sorry. Sorry. Oh. This is Tainan. In September 2014, shortly after Seoul All met with the refuse of exhibition, they held the exhibition at Chonggong University in Tainan. this is the first time. While in the exhibition in Tokyo and Berlin, which Honsondam participated, suppression of thought, expressions, and arts by power have been accused. The existence of blacklist was revealed in the process of impeachment of Park Geun-hye administration. Many Minjung artists came together the demonstration scene seeking impeachment by President Park, which began in the fall of last year. Minjung arts will show off their vitality again by artists who are intensely criticizing the government by formative arts and performances. On 31 March 2017, last March, the Seoul All was exhibited in Korea for the first time at the Gwangju Museum of Art as the Honsondam exhibition commemorating the third anniversary of the Seoul incident. What does the artwork with reality? What does it mean? What is important to me now is what kind of a picture should be taken at the scene. The question of Honsondam has passed through his art from Gwangju until now. The vitality of Minjung art with attribute the resistance is never going down until the union world witnessed in Gwangju is realized. Thank you very much. I'm sorry, that was very not.
当然，我自己也感慨了，我们台湾的这个美术系的这个学生，这个或者美术运动，跟这个南韩的这样子的一个民众比起来，我们真的是小巫见大巫。OK， 有没有朋友要提问题的？我们那个问题可能就是请那个道业老师来回答。姜老师，你提吧。
我觉得这两篇文章都非常有意思，可以说在一般我们在讨论艺术档案的时候呢，很少有一个美术史的视野还有一个历史纵深能够谈到这么独特的一个媒介那我的问题大概就是也是顺着这个这样的物质性来做一点提问就是说在刚刚这个KURODAさん讲到这些林君他的这样的图像他在经过了那个复制的技术之后呢，在不同的出版品上面流传那可能是从报纸当中截取了之后，它可能到杂志的封面那可能再继续在很多小报上面去做这个散播。那道业先生道业教授这边讲到的洪承坛的这个作品呢，它的媒介上有可能更复杂因为民众美术运动里面它使用到的是可能是像这个建筑物上面的这些挂画或者是说在这些社会运动场合当中所使用的这种宣传工具那我看到他这个前1、2年的洪承坛的这个作品呢，他也会结合一些民众的那个有点像参与然后去发展。所以我的问题就是其实只有一个，但也是都问2位就是说木刻它在不同的这种媒介上面传播的时候呢这样的艺术表达的形式呢，会不会它受到这种不同的媒介的影响而产生不同的意义？那我们怎么样去看待说这里这样子的这个意义呢？它在艺术性的这个成分呢，跟这个 运动的这种政治性的成分上，哪一个比较孰轻孰重的这样的问题。好，谢谢。
谢谢。I'm sorry. I'm going to speak in Japanese. 実際のところ、本さんに関しては他の作家は分かりませんが、本さんに関しては、彼は90年代以降は版画を作っていません。でなぜかというと、彼は版画に関しては基本的に完全に運動のための道具だとツールだと考えていました。
好，那我们讲一下红橙坛的。我们不太了解其他的这些艺术家是怎么回事，但是就我所知，红橙坛其实他在90年代以后，他就不再制作版画了，因为他心里非常清楚的把这个版画视为是他做政治运动的一些道具。
なので、他の例えばでもやっぱりそうだと言っても別に彼自身の中で彼はやっぱり基本的に芸術家なので。オユントの作品からとっても影響を受けていると思われる作品だとか造形的なものも結構見られるんですけれどもでも基本的に彼は自分は運動家だと特にシメヨン彼のグループ講師のグループは自分たちは今でもやっぱり運動家だと言ってます。アーティストだというよりも。
好，那可是其实红橙坛他骨子里还是一个艺术家，他也受到之前很多其他艺术流派的这个影响，但是他自己口中所说出来的主张是，他觉得他的运动重心是在我们刚刚讲到这个视觉媒体研究会新美勇这个地方，所以他自称他是一个运动家，但是我们看起来他似乎还是有一些艺術家的性質在。
韓国の民衆美術の作家はとってもたくさんいるので膨大なので全体とは言えませんけれども、私が今日発表した本さんに限って言いますと、本さんと本さんの周りの広州の作家たちは、有名な言葉なんですけども、民主化されるまで、韓国が民主化されるまでは自分たちは芸術を捨てようというふうに誓い合ったというふうに言っています。
好，因为在韩国从事跟民众运动相关的艺术家非常非常的多，这数量非常的庞大，所以我们并没有办法掌握是不是每一位艺术家都有相同的想法。但是就我们现在研究的这位红橙坛，以及当初在光州事件跟他算是同党的这些朋友们伙伴来讲呢，他们都甚至都是一起曾经发下这个誓言，就是说在韩国达到真正的民主化之前，我们要抛弃艺术。
It's too difficult to give you a complete answer, but you may remember that the portfolio of letters from the South consisted of 13 works. I showed only 3 from them, but it is really interesting why only the particular work of Lin Jun was so internationally circulated among the 13 works. But it was because that image, you remember that image, it doesn't have any background, just an image of a woman on white background. So it could work as an icon. Because other works are more complicated with backgrounds to show that, for example, Vietnamese jungle situation where the Vietnamese soldiers worked. So that is one level. That means that activists can choose some convenient images from any kind of artistic works, but what is necessary for activism is that such strength as an icon. That is one thing. Another, this is not my answer, but this is just my comment, especially to the presentation of INABA, my son. What characterizes that Korean Minjung art is the so common, frequent use of visual images, visual media. You said, INABA-san said that corrugate column were indispensable in rallies and demonstrations, but that didn't happen in Japan. For example, even in that culmination of student movement in late 1960s, I tried to find such kind of visual media or visual icons in, for example, Zen Kyoto student movement, but I couldn't find. And either in recent demonstration in front of a Diet House in Tokyo, I tried to find, but I couldn't. That means that kind of use of imageries in political demonstration may be a kind of, may belong to a particular culture. As Mai-san mentioned, it is in the vein of that, Buddhist painting. But some other culture may not have that one. Sorry, I don't think I have answered. It's just the comments.
黒田さんが今言ったその日本の学生というか運動安保闘争の時の現場にビジュアル視覚媒体がなかったっていうことなんですけど、一つはその朝鮮時代のところに自分たちのアイデンティティを探しに行ったっていう作業が韓国の民衆美術にはあって、で日本の場合のその戦後の美術運動の中にはそういうなんていうのかな、こう民族的なものだとかそういう民衆的なものを探しに行くという作業はなかった。でその辺にもしかして違いを見つけ出せるかもしれないとちょっと思っています。
刚刚黑田老师是提到，他觉得在日本过去的，比方说60年代的安保运动，或者是说最近日本的一些政治抗争当中，都没有类似韩国的民众运动这边我们看到他使用了这么丰富的这些视觉的材料。那他说他在最近的这个运动当中，他也努力的去寻找，试图去寻找，但是并没有发现。那么道业老师就是讲说，他试图去想这两者之间为什么会有这样子的这个差异哦。那有一个很大的原因，很可能是因为在韩国他们在近代有一种想要试图回溯到朝鲜时代，然后去寻找自己的民族它的自我意识、自我认识这样的一个回溯的这个过程。可是，在日本呢，我们没有看到它必须有这样的过程，它没有这个必要。所以因为缺少了这个回溯的过程，说不定这个是造成日本跟韩国我们在近代的这些民主运动或是政治运动当中所呈现出来的性质不同的一个原因。
Just a matter of information and maybe disagreement, I don't know, but anyway, information. There were woodblock prints of a revolutionary kind, but they were in a different period. They were in the late 1920s, early 1930s. Ono Tadashige did them. Whether their distribution was suppressed by the anti-communist secret police from 1934 and when it came to an end and people went underground, you know what the argument is about that, but certainly it did exist and was quite widespread as far as I know and highly developed. The other issue is in terms of the 1960s, there's a substitute. It's not woodblock prints, it's artists' photo books produced as a kind of revolt very quickly and quite graphically. Extensive number of them in the 1960s, and this artists' books as figures of revolt continued right through the anti-Vietnam, into other struggles, into the anti-Vietnam War struggles. So maybe you have to look for the same function but being performed in a different place in the Japanese visual world.
Thank you for information.
好了，问一个问题啊，帮忙翻译一下。因为两位那个这个老师啊，都提到了这个木刻版画，同时这两种木刻版画，它背后都存在了一个所谓事件啊，一个就是228事件，一个光州事件。而且整个再来深度的看的话，228事件，当然有很多层面啦，但是绝对不可能排除关于上个世纪的所谓的左派运动啊。那么光州事件的背后，事实上到现在为止也不可能排除所谓南北韩之间的那个所谓意识形态啊，这个共产主义、资本主义这样的一个两极化的对立。那我想请问，就是洪政坛或者两位老师啊，对韩国洪政坛这样子的运动，他想带动的背后的那个民众美术，除了表面上口号上说是要追求一个和平，但是在这背后里面，是不是确实有带动一种所谓的就是南北韩统一？好，那现在很敏感讲南北韩的统一的背后，大家都在谣传啊，那个背后要制造分裂的啊，往往是外面的所谓的更大更庞大的一个所谓美帝集团啊，那也就是说这个问题，作为艺术家或者作为群众运动，他们心里面知道吗？或者说他们认为这个方法是可以真的达到那个理想吗？谢谢。台湾问题就先不要回答了，太敏感了。
这个问题主要是问道野老师是吗？
本尊だ80年代にこう運動圏の中でもNLPD 論争といってちょっと複雑なので今は説明できませんが、2つの路線があって結構対立してたんですけれども、本尊ダムはその中で民族統一派でした。で今もそうです。統一を願っています。で統一で反米ですよね。反米統一なんですけれども、その統一を望んでいないその勢力に対して本さんがどう思ってるかは私はよくわからないんですけども、一つ彼から聞いたのは、台湾と中国は統一しなんかもうお互い独立するとか言ってるにもかかわらずすごく自由に行き来してると。で韓国は統一民族統一って長い間言い続けてるにもかかわらず行くこともできないと。だからもうむしろもう統一なんかもうやめだって言った方が統一に近くなるんじゃないかと思ってるというのは、これは本尊ダムの本人の談です。
这个确实，韩国他们的这个政治运动圈在80年代之后，它可以说分成2个路线哦。那洪承畴他本人是属于比较希望南北韩能够统一的这个路线，也就是说是反美的这一派。但是道野老师曾经在有一次他亲自去访问洪承畴的时候，听到他这么说。洪承畴说，像现在台湾跟中国之间，虽然我们彼此都非常主张自己的这个国家权益，都不太希望跟对方统一，可是事实上两岸的交流却是非常的频繁而且自由的。所以洪承畴他甚至还曾经讲过说，我们一直在讲统一，可是南北韩一直没有办法统一，不然我们就应该要学他们，我们不要讲统一，说不定就可以有真正的自由交流。
还有问题吗？ 那如果没有问题的话，就谢谢大家，谢谢两位主讲人 ，Thank you very much。